This is going to have to be our last question then. It will come from Nasim and go first to Claire McCaskill.
The Trust for America's Health projects that all states could reach or exceed an obesity rate of 44% in adults in 20 years, and the researchers estimate that the projected increase in obesity rates will cost the United States $550 billion between now and 2030. What policies, if any, do you believe the government should adopt to prevent rising healthcare costs caused by obesity-related diseases?
Well, I honestly think this is a place that the government should probably keep their big nose out. I don't think the government needs to be telling people what they should eat or what they should drink. I think that I understand it's a struggle. I'm a woman in her 50s. I've got 7 sizes of clothes in my closet. I go from one end to the other. I think encouraging, trying to set a good example, speaking out about it like Michelle Obama has done, how important it is for our kids to move, considering the importance of physical activity for our children in K through 12, making sure that we support and promote that in ways that are advisory only and not requirement. And also paying for prevention, making sure that people can go see their doctors and learn about the dangers of diabetes before they develop the adult onset of diabetes. If we can bring down diabetes in our adult population by just 10%, it is amazing what it does to the cost curve of our debt and deficit. So this is an important issue, but I would not be someone who thinks the government should get in the business of telling people what they should eat or drink.
Jonathan Dine.
The top 5 leading causes of death are all related to diet and lifestyle. Heart disease is actually the #1 cause of death in America. They're all preventable. Diet and exercise is something that can really make a big difference. I've been a personal trainer for 15 years. I help people motivate themselves to get out, get in shape, build muscle, and burn fat. It's something that anybody can do at any age, but somebody needs to be a role model. I think the government should make incentives, whether they be tax incentives, making gym memberships tax deductible, or personal trainers. But it is the #1 drain on our healthcare system overall. I think we do need to have some positive reinforcement instead of negative reinforcement like the government is so used to. Obesity does kill more people than war, murder, crime, drugs, and everything else combined. So if that's not a problem where the government should set a role model, I don't know what is.
Todd Akin.
All of us have things in our lives that are challenging. And for some people, obesity is one of them, but there are a lot of other things. And all of us are people. And all of us have to try to manage those things and try to do the best we can in the circumstances. But when the government starts to overstep and there's problems with jobs and all kinds of stresses, these problems then become a lot worse. And I agree, this is the first time I've agreed with Claire, this isn't something the federal government should do. Now the federal government's telling you what kind of light bulb to buy, how much water can come out of your shower, how much water can go down your toilet. You can't have any dust in the combine. I'm glad there's something that the federal government doesn't have to do and tell you what size drink cup that you're going to have. But I think that this is part of just being Americans. This is part of basically living the dream in America, that we can challenge ourselves and to try, stumble and fall sometimes, get back up again and try some more. But I think we also have to have a love for each other because we're all Americans. We're all God's children. And we need to give people a hand when they need it or some encouragement when they need it. And so this is one of a whole series of things that I'd kind of put in the category of self-government, the way that we run our own lives responsibly. And this is what's made America strong, is the fact that we're good at doing that here in America.
That is the end of our question and answer session. It's now time for our closing statements. As a reminder, the candidates each get 2 minutes, and we are starting with Congressman Todd Akin.
America is an absolutely unique and great country. Sometimes we forget. We fought 2 world wars. We annexed no territory, crowned no kings or princes, and then we voted to tax ourselves to rebuild our enemies. How often has that happened in world history? We have the oldest written constitution. And then when there's a tsunami or an earthquake, we see the gray hull with the red, white, and blue proudly flying. and they've got medical supplies and foods going to help people all over the world. And this is who we are. We're Americans. And I think that suggests that we need to ask a question. What is the secret of America's greatness? And I would believe that it's pretty well captured by Jefferson when he said, we believe that there is a creator that gives us life and liberty in the pursuit of happiness. The idea that God himself intended for your life to be protected, for you to have the liberty of free speech, to be able to go vote, or to keep the things that you earn. And the pursuit of happiness, that's the essence of the American dream, that every single one of us are different, that we're all equally important, and each of us can go after whatever it was that we have in our hearts to do. And people will say to you, you can't do that, that won't work. And you know what? Americans prove them wrong, because we follow those dreams. And America has been built one dream at a time. And that makes us who we are. But you know what? That's being threatened and destroyed by people who are building Washington, D.C., not protecting life, not protecting liberty, taking so much money from people that they can't save what they earn. And so we have a choice. Do you want more Washington and big government, or do you want to protect the American dream and the freedom that it comes from, and recognize and honor that God himself intended us to have life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness? Thank you.
Claire McCaskill.
You know, we have a choice here, not only a choice between two candidates that have a much different view, but also a choice of whether we look back and blame or whether we look forward and fix. Todd Akin loves America, and so do I. Todd Akin believes America is unique, and so do I. But we have a different view about how we get to that shining place on the mountain where everyone has an opportunity at success. We need certainty for our business community. How do we get certainty? Do we get it through gridlock, or do we get it through compromise? I am very proud that I am part of a group in the Senate that believes in bipartisan compromise. I have time and time again stood up to my party and worked with Republicans to move the ball forward on tough compromises that make a difference. He is part of the gridlock. Where is the Farm Bill? Where is the Postal Bill? Where are the bills that the Tea Party is trying to shut down because they refuse to allow them to go forward? I have worked with a long list of Republican senators: Senator Thune, Senator DeMint, Senator McCain, Senator Blunt, Senator Ayotte, Senator Sessions. All of these are things I've worked on with Republicans to cut spending and to make our spending more responsible. Lots of different bills. But Congressman Akin wants to go back. He wants to go back to the same policies that created this mess in the first place. He wants to go back to a policy where all you have to do is do another tax cut for the wealthy and everything's going to be fine. And absolutely no rules of the road for the greed of Wall Street. Cut veterans' benefits, but give another tax cut to Tom Brady. Eliminate student loans, but give another tax cut to the Koch brothers. Privatize Social Security and Medicare and put more costs on the back of seniors, but give another tax cut to the wealthiest wealthy of America. I don't think we have to do that. I don't think we have to go back. Let's go forward together and fix it.
Jonathan Dine.
In the last few decades, the federal government has exploded in size. No area of your life, your business, or your wallet is free from the meddling of politicians. It doesn't have to be this way. With a smaller government and more freedom, you could keep more of what you earn. You'd be easier to start a new business, build a new home, and fuel real economic growth. I believe we need more ordinary Americans to stand up and take an active role in government. I truly believe the political system would be better off if more credibility was given to libertarian and independent elected politicians. Although they might not come up with completely new stances, they're more likely to represent a combination of views and think outside the box. It's time we break up some of the stagnation of the two-party system. Like I said before, I come to you today not as a candidate for this office, but like many of you, a concerned American citizen who's worried about the direction of this country. I'm worried about the uncontrollable debt. I'm worried about the endless wars putting our young men and women in harm's way. I'm worried about the erosion of our civil liberties and personal freedoms here at home. You know, I'm not a fine-tuned, polished politician like my opponents, but I do have genuine qualities where I can see life from the ground level. So if you do support me, like I said before, you will be supporting a genuinely smaller government, lower tax level, and more personal freedom across the board. I promise to keep the Republicans out of your bedroom and the Democrats out of your wallet.
Well, that is all the time we have for our debate today. Let's give our candidates a round of applause.